Yes. Yeah. So hi everyone. My name is Sagar Kakkala, and today we are here for like AI Ops MLOps session. Like here in this session, we'll learn about like fine-tuning a model. It's more like creating your own custom chatbot using AI. Like since we'll have a lot of LLM models, and here since we all use ChatGPT, so I had taken the OpenAI model which is ChatGPT here into picture for an understanding of ease. I'll share screen this would be uploaded in the playlist like DevOps with Sagar Kakkala itself. And since in my YouTube channel, it's bit of diversified content, where I just don't have only DevOps or AIOps, MLOps, and it's mostly with what do I call? There were videos of travel, there were videos of finance, and bit of other stuff. And to segregate content, you just have to remember my name. All you had to do is search my name in Google, and you have my website, LinkedIn, YouTube. And in website, everything is separated by contents of the blog. So I would suggest since this AIOps and MLOps is an individual series, but I would suggest get into a consecutive order to understand things better. And it's same way in YouTube, everything is separated by playlists. Let's say you have your the main playlist inside home tab itself, or you could just go for playlists, and this session, the session that we are going to have right now, would be uploaded in DevOps with Sagar Kakkala English. Here is where this would be the next session here. Yes. Do you guys have any query or something? If not, I just request you to mute and unmute when it's necessary. Yes, we'll start now. And just as I said, if you want to if you were watching any content, and if you want to go back, you just click on logo and just navigate through content. Let's say now we'll start why fine tuning is important. What actually is fine tuning is simply, let's say you have a base model, and these base models are more like your LLMs. LLMs are nothing but large language models. You could call these as ChatGPT or Gemini or Cloud AI or Bold.new or even EasyPeasy.ai. There are lot of AIs which are actually trained with some set of data. Let's say if I ask ChatGPT, I think now they got ChatGPT 5 as well. Uh, who is Sargakala? This is actually this what happens here is it is able to search the internet and get the data, and it actually gives the data based on this. Here in GPTs, it was actually it actually has given permission to go and browse the data. But if you go for ChatGPT 3.5, it has only data till September 2021. So if I ask ChatGPT 3.5, it is 5, 3.5, it will not be able to answer my question because it was not trained with my data, and it is not given the privilege to search the internet as well. So whatever, because I created my content post 2021, so it cannot answer whatever it is. So it's more like the data is not trained with the new data. Let's say you want to have your own website, and you want to train it with your custom data. Let's say you want to have a custom data on that. So that is where fine tuning is important. Let's say you'll have taken a base model which is already trained, and on top of that, you will give your own data which you want to answer. It's more like you could keep it an internal chatbot, so that your information, whatever you want inside your company, you could still access, but without giving a public access. Or else you could create a chatbot for your own website. Let's say I could take this example of Air India. Here you have an AI chatbot, and let's say I want to go from Visakhapatnam to Porto. So I had given from Visakhapatnam to Porto on August 15. Yeah, it starts working on it. Like whatever data it's required, like it's asking. Okay, I did not mention whether it's one way or round trip. Okay. So whatever data is required, like it got the data, and here it is. Like it gave me the data. Like instead of searching, like instead of I going through these dates, the same way, if someone opens my website, let's say you had to navigate these things. Like instead of that, I could create a chatbot, and like where the user comes and asks, I want to learn Ansible. Like where now. Like I could create a custom data set saying that if a user asks for Ansible or a keyword in Ansible, so give them these links like for Telugu video, search for this English video, here is this, like for the blog, here you have, and for the GitHub repo, here you have. I could actually create a data on that and I could like inject into my LLM so that like whenever whoever asks into my website, they don't have to navigate through this and like search for it. But here, I would not prefer a chatbot here. Like why? Because like I had to pay, like being from a website owner, I had to pay for this, like whatever inputs and outputs are being used. And like why I had to pay, like this is something regarding tokens and characters and inputs that we discussed in the last session. And because like whatever character, let's say whatever characters I'm typing, whatever the outputs it's giving. So if it's like a single output, it uses less tokens. It means like Air India chatbot, Air India guy, like they'll be able to pay less. And like if I'm asking for more outputs, like I'm just giving random inputs and it's giving random outputs, but still Air India guy has to pay. This is something the fine tuning model has to pay. Like being a website owner, I had to pay. And like how that is as well, like we'll see. And before fine tuning any model, Ganesh raised a hand. Yes, tell me what happened.
So can I have one doubt?
Yes.
So you are saying that like it only works on that particular level, right?
Hmm.
Particular data set level, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it means.
Hmm. Ganesh, if you don't mind, we'll have this session, we'll have these doubts at the end, like till whatever
Okay.
concept is there,
Okay.
because we were still not done yet. Maybe like your question will be answered once we go further. Okay? I'll address your doubt for sure, but let's keep it for the end. Okay? Yeah. So first thing, like whatever you want to do fine tuning is something like we'll see. You'll select a base LLM model, and like whatever base LLM model you'll select, and for that, you need to understand like you will whatever base that base model is something, it will incur your costs. Like let's say you selected GPT-4 and like this has different cost, and if you selected like a different model like the old model Davinci, this would have a different cost. And you need to have a custom data set like which we will do in this session, custom data set, and you had to upload this data set to LLM model. And here you had to train your model to use this data set. This is something like your LLM would take care. Till here would be your part, and this is something like your LLM would be taking care, like which we would see. And before we move into fine tuning, there are few things that you had to set up. First thing, yeah, like a base model. If you want fine tuning, you guys could mute for some time. Yeah, this is something like a fine tuning. Like you could create your steps as well. Now it went for like supervised fine tuning. Just like now how you could upload your images to chat GPT and all, the models have been actually like quietly high efficient than before. So you could give a paragraph, you could like just give a website link and ask it to summarize, you could just give a blog link and ask it to summarize. So things went a bit updated a lot compared to before. So you could use any of this supervised training model, you could actually follow the same steps. Here is like JSON format, this is JSON-L, this is how your chat GPT or any cloud understands like what prompt you are giving. And here is more like, let's say, here is something like I took a custom data set, which I'll show you shortly. And this is how you could actually use ChatGPT itself. Like there, you get the steps using API, or you could use it using UI as well. So which we would see. But here in this session, we would go for Linux missions, like because like since we all work with Linux, like I'll go for Linux because UI is something very easy. You just had to click on a button, create, upload, and then like fine tune. So That's where I went for like Linux mission training. But for the playground, we'll use UI itself. And before you start, you need an API key for actually connecting with your model. Let's say I could create a new secret key. Mm, let's say you could actually also restrict like whatever you want your API keys to restrict. You could restrict just like we did GitHub tokens. You could either just give read, none, or like no access, or read write access, access or anything. But here, just for our purpose, like we'll give all. So this API key is actually a bit powerful. So it has like all the access of keys. When you create this, you have this one time, like it comes only for one time. Sorry.
స్టే ఓకే ఓకే నేను
Uh,
కానీ నాకు ఏం అప్డేట్ రాలేదు అందుకని
who is this?
ఆ? అది కాదు వేరేది పెట్టాను మెసేజ్ పెట్టాను
Bro, Naveen, mute yourself, na? Fine. Mm. So here,
సారీ
yeah, fine. So here, you could actually get this API key, like which is only one time. So make sure you save this key somewhere. And after that, you will not be able to find this key. So this key plays a very major role here. So I'm just like saving it in a notepad. I already have a notes key. Yes. So once this is done, like what we are going to do is now, mm, yes. Okay, we got the API key. That's done. Like this is how we did it. And now, because we want to use the fine-tuning model, you need to this like how we had integrated our credit cards and everything to AWS accounts and like other accounts. Same way, you need to add your cards as well. Yesterday I had like played, so I had added $10. So like once if you open here, like if there are no payments methods, like since my card is added, it actually I added $10. You just had to you'll get something like add billing, add payment details. You just need to add your cards and you had to add at least between like $5 to $100. So I just added $10 there. It's your call. And make sure you uncheck this automatically recharge my credit balance before it falls a threshold. Else it will start taking money from your card every time because you had clicked this option. Make sure you uncheck this option just to save money. And once that is done, you could also track the usage. Let's say maybe like I had logged in with my account and make sure you log in with the same account wherever you're using. So here is where like the chat completion images because yesterday I was trying to play with it. So it has used 931 tokens because I was just giving the characters and I was playing. You guys know like what are tokens now. It's more like the input that I give and the output that I get. So both come under tokens. And that's where like the prompt engineering plays a major role here, which we discussed in the first session. Yes. And you need to select a model based on your pricing, let's say, like before we start. And here are the like trainings input, like let's say this takes, Babbage takes like $0.40, DaVinci takes $6, because like everything is like updated. Like as you go for super versions, like this is actually high-end version where it takes like $100 per hour, and here it takes like $25 per hour GPT-4. So you need to see like what tool is most suitable for your requirement, and based on that, you need to select a base model. And like once the base model is done, like now we'll create a custom data for fine tuning. Let's say this is something because I don't want my tokens to be increased. Let's say I wanted to first, I wanted to select where can I find danceable video, and then answer would be like for English, search this, Telugu, get this, GitHub report this. And like what happens if I use that much big of data is more like the token size will increase. If the tokens are increased, the inputs are less. Like let's say, like as a user, you might ask less input, but I would be giving a larger output to you. As a result of that, my tokens cost would increase, and this would actually cost me a lot of money. Where I showed you, it was like $9.9 on the usage thing. Yeah, $9.97. This would be like going away within seconds for me. So where I don't want to waste the money. So that's where I took something like a basic questions on a custom data set here to train. You guys, if you want, you could change this data set as well, whatever you want, like whatever you prefer. So here, there's one more issue that happened. Maybe I left it for troubleshooting, which I'll discuss later. So what I'm going to do, so this is something, a chat kind of thing that I created. So let's say like, what is Sagar Kakkala favorite color? Answer is Sagar Kakkala favorite color is yellow. What is Sagar Kakkala favorite food? So this is something, a data that I want to train my LLM model. So what I give, but you need to like write JSON-L format in this way. So you could just ask ChatGPT as well, like create a let's say I'm just asking it to create it, and it will give me the way responses. Okay, this gave me messages. Actually, like the messages one as well is important. I'll tell you like what happened between messages and prompt. This is something I left for troubleshooting. You could just give one example as this. You could just say, instead of this. So here is how like you could get here. Actually, the new models, they actually take the input search messages, but the old models, fine-tuning models, take JSON-L document as prompts. So that's the only difference. But if you are going for new model, you could go for messages. Since I want to show like some bit of like fine-tuning and OpenAI APIs, like how they would use to like clear these data. So that's where I went for old data. Yes, I'll show. So once you'll get the input something like this as shown. And now for fine tuning a model, now this is where we'll take cloud. As I said, we'll be taking a Linux machine. I think like UI is a bit changed. Fine. Here, you guys don't need to worry about cost. You can just take something like a T2 instance. Maybe like let me terminate this. Let me go for a fresh instance itself. This is where like yesterday I was trying to fine tune the model and I was successful. I'll show you that as well. So I'll just go for I'm just leaving everything as default. So let's go. And if you are going for open AIs or like AI stuffs, I would recommend to learn at least like bit of Python, because Python is something like where whichever AI you go, like you had to touch it for sure. Okay. Yes. Okay. This is not required. This usage I can show. API key. Okay, I saved it right. Yeah. Okay. So first thing is like inside the repo, I'm just refreshing. This is just a basic. Like I'm refreshing all the repos of Ubuntu. And then, as I said, like Python is something like a very important part that plays here. So I'm just installing Python. I think it installed Python and pip, yeah, Python 3 pip. And here I want to use a virtual environment of Python instead of inside EC2, because for the next session I can just delete this environment and I could just create a new environment within same EC2 instead of taking a different one. So that's where I'm just using a Python virtual environment. It's like this is virtual machine, and inside that I'm just creating another virtual machine. That's it. Okay. And now I'm creating a virtual environment named OpenAI ENV. If you guys want, you could rename it to anything. Like instead of OpenAI ENV, it could be something on your desired name. Okay, now it created. I just had to activate that environment. So whatever name you give, like make sure, like if you are using a different name, make sure you have the same name here and to here. So now it actually went into Python environment. It's a different mission. Now inside a Python environment, I'm just installing all the dependencies that are required. Okay. And now this is where like your API key stands. As I was mentioning, your API key stands a major role here. It's to connect your open API, like your ChatGPT account to here. Hmm. So what was my key? Yeah, this is my key. Okay, where is this key? Yeah. Hmm. And this is something as a secret key, like which I will delete later. So I'm okay to show this key here, but this key, because it has access to all my ChatGPT account, this is something you guys need to be secure of. And now I think yeah, the same data which I got here, let's say I think it messed up. So the same data which I got here, now I'll be uploading it to something called like a file name I'll be taking is like dataset dot JSONL. Let's see. I don't think, like if the code doesn't work, I'll make changes. Don't worry. Uh, let's see. I think it did not work. Hmm. Yes. Instead of that, I'll just create. Yeah, I think like we had this account, right? Hmm. Just copy pasting this. 1 second. Okay. Mm, Uh, mm, 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 mm. Sagar Kakkala dataset, and this file it need to be saved as JSONL documents. So that's how like your ChatGPT understands. Insert, then just copy pasting, and make sure you don't have any space in it. Like if you have a space, let's say if you have a space here, like your LLM model things, like there should be one JCN model, JCNL line, and it's showing empty line. So I could not do anything now. So it will throw up errors, even like you do everything after that. Like it shows error at the final stage. So make sure you don't have any space left. And now I'm just saving this file. So we have one thing called dataset JSON.l, like the question and answers which I gave. Once this is done, what I'm going to do, yes, I'm going to use OpenAI model like fine-tunes dot prepare data. What does this do? This is something like where I was saying, like now the latest model we're using like messages, but I still took prompt just to show you this. So this is how it is. What does this do? Like it checks like if there are any duplicate data, if there are any like just like a space of lines or the formatting is not good. So everything it takes care. Let's say if I had given like what is Sarka favorite color twice line I gave that line. So it removes one line. It just removes duplicates of data. So that's how it's used. Maybe like here itself I could show like what it does. Yeah, it says like remove prefix Sargakala from all completions because I was giving Sargakala every time. All completions start with prefix Sargakala. It could actually remove this Sargakala because it's a kind of duplicate thing. I'm just giving yes. and same thing all suffix n, it just like prepares your data for validations. Your new file is this. And here is where like your open training model could have like your base model could be a query model or ADA model or Babbage model. And like here, this half an hour per job is something I'll show you practically. So these are new two files that are formed. So what am I going to do is more like I'm going to upload this data. It's more like how we upload this data to a cloud. Same way I'm going to upload this data to my OpenAI account. It's more like a ChatGPT account. So how would I upload? Be using API key is just this, like both the files. Mm, Using this command to upload the files. So here it uploaded into ChatGPT and it gave me a file ID. First thing I uploaded is dataset train.json, and the second one I had to upload is like valid data. So there are two files it gave and I'll be uploading both the files. So here were like the two file IDs I got. These two file IDs are important for us now. Let's say, oh yeah, here is where the issue started if I'm using the old model. Okay, I think yes, I could end this in. Let's see. Maybe it could happen or not happen. I'll just extend the meeting. Let's see. So minus F file ID is something your prepare train data file ID. Okay, here it says like as you see the model ADA is not available. And if I try to use I tried using like different model. This is something like since you guys were asked for troubleshooting, I left for you guys itself. So this is where I was trying to use like different models like Babbage, DaVinci, and how to see what models are available is this command. And because like I was tight on time, I could not search like what model suits the best. So these are all the different models that I could use, like instead of ADA, like instead of like the same command, instead of minus M stands for model here. And I could use like whatever model that's actually here, like GPT-4 image 1 ID. ID is the model name here. You could use whatever model is there. Since I was like tight on time, I did not use like any models here. Like I tried to use like GPT 3.5 and I'll show like what happened if I use it like GPT 3.5. One second. Yes. Yeah, this is how it failed actually. It said because the data does not contain messages, so it said it failed. And one more thing that I tried yesterday was, as I said, there is one space that I gave, and it said it's not a valid JSON format anymore. So that's where I said, that's where just to show you guys on a workaround, what I did was instead of training the data completely, I took this messages prompt itself. Maybe I can just like click this. So let me go for this. So let me give a new data, JSONL. Okay. uh, Yeah, so there is no space. I just gave a second because it requires two files, mostly like train data and uh, the valid data are the same. But you need two files to for your model now, like for your new Open API model. So that's why I created two duplicate files. Both are same actually. So what I did now here is, yeah, I'm going to, yes, like upload these files here. Let's say one is sk.jsonl and another one is sk2.jsonl. Yeah, I got the file IDs. Now what I did is like I used the latest model, GPT 3.5 Turbo. GPT 3.5 is something which is actually till September 2021 as well. It has data. So that's why I took that, because if I ask for like latest, like it knows a lot of details about me, because like a lot of details are on web. So that's where like to just to show you the difference, I took GPT 3.5. Mm, Yes, now it formed a new model. Now if I want to search the new model, here is where like my OpenGPT account. As you could see, it's validating files. What happens is like it will start training the data. When it starts training the data, it might OpenAI has this core batch where it runs for every half an hour. So till half an hour I had to wait, and only then I'll be able to use this data. And because like yesterday I did this, it has the files uploaded and it has the data already. So I could use the playground now to play with it. It's the same data, just like yesterday. Like once it's up, it will also have the same data. And let's say like because it does GPT 3.5, which is actually a model, and this is our fine-tuned model. Now if I ask, let's say it says I'm sorry. It says Sagar Kakkala favorite color is yellow. Why? Because I trained it with custom data set where I had given it answers saying that like my favorite color is yellow. So that's how like your custom data set works. Where is this custom data set? Yeah, here is where the first question, it knows the answer. And why AI chatbots could like play a major role here is, let's say the traditional chatbots, like only if they find the keywords, they'll be able to answer you. But here, like let's say, because they know, mm, maybe about yellow color. See here, this is something I did not give this prompt. I did not answer this. I did not give any context regarding like what is yellow, like where and everything, but it still was able to answer. It's because it was a model that is it's a model that is trained on top of GPT 3.5. So it will be able to answer the questions as well, which are not custom data, but if it has the because it has trained on previous data. So that's how you could make your own chatbots using a custom data set. Here is where I had given a bit low data just to save tokens and my money. That's it. Yeah, I think we're done with the session. I think I don't have anything more here. Hmm. Yeah, that's it. Like we are successfully fine-tuned. Yes, I think we're done with the session. Yeah, Ganesh, you were asking something before.
So I'm asking the only like for suppose we are searching something, right?
Hmm.
It only works at that particular data set, right?
No, no, no.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Just now I showed you, right? It doesn't work on that particular data set. I asked it about color yellow, even though I did not mention like what it should answer. If I asked yellow, it still answered me, right?
So it's coming from base.
Yeah, base LLM model.
Mm,
It's like one
okay,
one data is already trained. On top of that, you're training your custom data.
okay,
So
okay,
it
okay,
has this
okay.
yellow data and everything here. I think we are short on time. If you guys are
Okay.
comfortable
Can we
turning,
one more thing, one
yeah,
more
yeah,
doubt?
yeah,
Can we
yeah.
use our base, our custom based
Hmm.
LLM model?
Yeah, that is why I showed you, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. Fine. If you guys are comfortable turning on camera, we could just take a screenshot and we'll wrap up this session. It's your call. I think we just have 1 minute left. Yeah, I'll stop the recording once.